Welcome to the first edition of the Cellar. Basically, the Cellar is a fortnightly thing we're going to do to bring a little bit of the Casa de Vinos cellar to you. We've got a lot of people from all around Australia who love to hear and guess learn about what we do in the shop. And
it's a little bit to get out there the things that get lost in the store, or sometimes novelties that we get arriving. So to let everyone know what's new. There might even be more segments coming on in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess the main focus for the first few fortnights at least, we're going to bring out a couple of bottles of whiskey from the Casa de Vinos cellar, which aren't normally available online. Talk to you a little bit about them. Same with the wine front, and then also a little cheeky sample as well, which you have the opportunity to get to.
Yeah. So, Jono, what do you have today to show from the cellar?
So I reckon let's start with the whiskies. Now, Jose, there's a couple of whiskies that you've brought out with the cellar, and they're now on the website. Obviously, these are one-of-ones and really great bottles. Maybe we start with the Ben Nevis Obey.
Yeah, we decided to downsize a little bit the collection because we started to get quite important size. So John asked me a couple of bottles that I would let go, and the first one is tough because I used to have a very large collection of Ben Nevis before COVID. After I decided to open a few of those for tastings, but proud of that. I decided to release this 15-year-old Ben Nevis distilled in 1998, bottled a single cask at 56.1% and matured on a sherry vat, Pedro Jimenez vat. Amazing, rich, big, large Ben Nevis.
Probably quite hard to find now as well.
Very hard to find. We all know this distillery doesn't have any more stocks, so they are not doing single casks anymore, and these official bottlings single casks are becoming very, very, very scarce. So this is a total outturn of 595 bottles in the whole world for this cask. It's a great, and it comes in a beautiful gift box. So you can easily keep this for many, many, many decades more, and it's been well preserved, or you can open it to celebrate a great occasion.
Absolutely. Maybe someone's birthday's coming up, or the special occasion, whatever that might be, or maybe just one you want to add to your collection.
A friend's 21st, family.
Really special whiskies, I guess. And the second one, Jose, this is a little bit older.
Exactly. Yeah, this Glendronach 12-year-old Dumpy official bottling. This is a Glendronach from, we would say, around the early 80s. We estimate this bottle would be anywhere between 1981 to 83 being bottled. This makes the distillation between 1969 and 1972. So mainly bourbon cask, but sometimes these vattings we used to have a little bit of sherry, so it could be a little bit of color in there, a little bit of richness, but mostly they are quite fragrant and floral whiskeys. Really, really good whiskey from a past era. This almost it's gonna get to close to 40 years being bottled. Yeah,
whiskey from a day gone by. So that's what this is all about. The Casa de Vinos, the cellar. A couple of really interesting bottles of whiskey and an opportunity to add something to your collection. And we're doing the same on the wine front too, Jose. So there's always a couple of wines in the shop that aren't normally on the website, but we wanted to sort of slowly bring a couple up and talk to you guys a little bit about them and give you the opportunity to have some similarly equally sort of limited edition or harder to find wines.
Yep. So to begin, we got Chateau de Meursault de Pommard, Clos de Zepernat Premier Cru. This is vintage 2012. It's a great Pinot Noir. A little bit earthy, but mainly quite a bit of that sort of red fruit, red currants. At this age, it's drinking absolutely great right now. I would just drink it now. You can still, if you like that sort of a bit more evolved Pinots and a bit more the racy flavors, you can leave it, let's say, for a couple more years, maybe 5 years. I would say maybe 10 years top. Sometimes they last a little bit longer, but now it's drinking great. Don't forget, this is a Pinot that's already 8 years old,
ready to go, and one that will be awesome, and probably a little bit of decanting as well if you were going to open that up.
Definitely.
About an hour or so before you get stuck into it. But Rosso di Montalcino.
Rosso di Montalcino, yes, great wine from Italy. This is an everyday, red to have with pizza, to have with pasta, to have with risotto.
Herby foods.
Yeah, herby foods, or tomato-based sauces, so
really, like a lot bigger than the Pinot. Obviously, going to be really nice, fruit forward. Think sort of like red berries, like cherries and that sort of thing.
This is basically it's made with Sangiovese and has a little bit of tannin. So it's still a lot of fruit and fruit-forward wine. Quite a highlight. It's a vintage 2016, so still like really vibrant in the bottle. So great. Yeah.
This one we've got probably about half a dozen bottles of. This one we had 3, but as I was writing up and putting this one online for the first time, 2 have already gone. So this one probably won't last long. But I guess that's just the nature of the cellar.
Correct.
Most of these things there's only going to be opportunity to get 1 or 2 of them, and for the old and rare samples, so I guess those who are familiar with our tastings and that sort of thing, that we do old and rare tastings, and so we thought we'd put an old and rare sample in the mix for the cellar as well, and this is for the first edition, Jose, you've gone with.
So basically we decided that these bottles are not very cheap, but because they are very old, so we still have a lot of customers that would like to taste things like this, but they necessarily don't want to spend $600-700 on a bottle. So we decided to release samples. In this case, the first bottle is a favorite of mine, maybe one of my favorite whiskeys I tried in 2019. This is a Springbank private cask for the Whiskey Agency, distilled in 1993, bottled in 2018, bottled at 48%. Bourbon cask, so fragrant, that sort of waxiness that the Springbank has, with like honeycomb, diesel, just stunning whiskey. Like, this is a bottle that today we don't have anymore. The price in the market will be around $1,200. But if you want to taste something like this today, you can. We only have around 5 samples on the website, so
opportunity to taste and
great opportunity.
Springbank, and who doesn't want to taste a Springbank like this? It's a pretty rare opportunity. So every fortnight we'll add another sample on there, and I think we've started off with a bang here, Jose, because that's a seriously good one.
And lastly, should we present our independent bottler?
Yes. So every fortnight that we do it, we'll also talk a little bit about a range that's on the shelf, and put a bit of focus on one range. And we're going to start with the first edition with Valinch and Mallet, Jose.
Valinch and Mallet is a Italian independent bottler. Absolutely stunning. These guys have been bottling now for maybe around close to 10 years. They release single cask whiskies at cask strength and for a great price, which is very important. Today we have some really good whiskies. What Ardmore you got in there?
The Ardmore 9-year-olds, and these are all single cask whiskies. And this one's been one of my particular favourites, and one that often people, when they come in the shop, I'll give them a little try of, because it's so bright and fruit forward for a young whiskey. Lots of orchard fruits and the sort of profile you probably normally associate with a more mature whiskey. This is an incredible whiskey and quite price affordable too. For a single cask whiskey in particular, and all the prices for these are obviously below and on the website too. But this is a really great whiskey, and its, I guess, brother is this one here, the Glenmorangie.
The Glenmorangie, 11 years old. Glenmorangie is a distillery that produces really fruity whiskies, and what these guys have done is mature this Glenmorangie on Manzanilla cask, which is a dry style of sherry, but it's not so big like Oloroso or Pedro Jimenez. So it's giving a bit of that racy richness combined with the fruitiness of Glenmorangie. So stunning whiskey at a great price. Also bottled at 53.4%, so good punch.
So those ones are two of the younger whiskies in the range, in this year's range, which we've got, and they've also got a range. I think we've probably got about 6 or 7 still available, which you can see there on the website. A couple that have really caught our eye, mine in particular, have been this one here, which I just call, where's the popcorn bomb?
Here.
There it is. That's the Glenglossy.
Here. The Bruichladdich 15-year-old.
15-year-old. So this is one that is just a standout dram in terms of the profile of it. Jose is just so much different than any other whiskey we've got in this shop and anything that I've come across for a while. So let's just pour a little bit for the sake of having a dram. And this, when it came off the boat when we got this shipment, really big, large whiskey. In terms of it blew us away straight away, and now it's settled down a little bit. The nose of this is just, it's so pungent in a very good way, and I get so much buttered popcorn from this. It's insane.
And one of those things that is very hard to get Bruichladdich distilled whiskey independently bottled, right? Especially at 15 years of age. And this has a top that is Madeira butt. Right, Madeira is a sister appellation to Porto, so it's fortified wines, slightly sweeter. Which I guess what's created on the smell of this is basically buttered popcorn.
Yeah. It's a sort of dram that is a really good one to have, stowed away at your house, and when your mates come over, give them a try this one, because it is just so vastly different. Take our word for it. This whiskey is a really interesting cask. One of those ones that doesn't come around too often. So
this is bottled at 54.1% and a total outrun of 341 bottles. And I must tell you, we haven't got a Bruichladdich around 15 years of age below $300 in a long time. So this is actually quite a great deal.
Yeah. No, it's cracking whiskey, as is the whole Valencian Mallet range. And please, have a look. If there's anything there that catches your eye, grab a bottle, or if you've got any questions about any of them all, feel free to get in contact and we can tell you a little bit more about them. But thank you for tuning in to the first edition of the Cellar. Have fun perusing all of the things that we've talked about here below. If you are watching this and you're on the Cellar newsletter, then you'll know, and you can go below and check it out. If you're not, then head over to our website at Casa Vinos and subscribe to our newsletter, and that way you get first access to all of these amazing whiskies and wines that we're going to release on a fortnightly basis.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Salud.
Salud.